Okay, there's always something. I'm behind the legislator. This morning got a wake-up call, and I was so upset. Last month, was it? Me and Daniela, we had a meeting with a bureaucrat named Lisa Harrity. Trust me, we're going to hear that name a lot the next few months. So anyway, had a meeting across the street about the issue of service dog. All right? So then, the OG pay attention. So then, you know, I didn't have no papers. It must have been a couple of months ago. So what happened? Maybe you got some people here, who knows? How you doing?
How about you, John?
But the issue of service dog. Now, how you doing? So what's happening is this. New Brunswick has the worst legislation in Canada for service dog. You don't need, there's no oversee by the government. Like, they don't give you a paper and say you can sign up by the doctor and say, okay, Mr. Charles Leblanc suffers from severe Scottish bad temper. DOG calms him down during the confrontation. DOG, do your job. So, you know, I'm being sarcastic, but there's no overseas from the government. So I thought something will be done, that they will change. I was very optimistic. We left that meeting, and during the meeting, the woman, Lisa Harrity, she's going to be more known than Liz, what's her name again? Liz Ford? Anyway, from the social development focus chairs. She mentioned at first, right at the beginning of the meeting, oh, Mr. LeBlanc, here's some papers, some guides to the New Brunswick Human Rights Commission. We don't need legislation. Go to the New Brunswick Human Rights. New Brunswick Human Rights Commission. Ah! Turn around. That's the reason that I'm here in Fredericton in the first place, is because of the New Brunswick Human Rights Commission. Okay. I didn't want to have nothing to do with that. I told Daniela, I want legislation. Daniel spoke very, very good. He says it could be brought before the cabinet, some changes, and to like I explained in my presentation, I even wrote the paper. It went so good, just to explain that there's more people living alone these days than there ever been across Canada. So they say, the government, we care for people with mental illness. We care. Remove their dog or their cats. Sorry, there's something wrong. This is the style like Lisa Harrity would do. Like, as a matter of fact, when she called, she said she had a cold, and she was enjoying herself with her dog. Anyway, but she mentioned Human Rights Commission, and she insisted that I pay attention to what she was saying about Human Rights Commission. Now, you have a person with a mental illness. Oh, yeah. What's the phone number? Human Rights Commission. Oh, you got to set up an appointment. Oh, let me listen to you. What happened? Oh, fill up this huge form about 10 papers long, and it takes about a year. So I don't know about, but the Liberals, there's no need to talk about people with mental illness. Hello, ¿cómo se va? Because they don't seem to care about people with mental issues anyway. So, hey, they wanted prisoners forced to walk home. What the hell can you do? But what I'm saying is the government turn around and say, not to support the bureaucrats. The bureaucrats, they're snobs. And say, well, what's the big deal here? I got a dog. I have a dog. Of course you have a dog. You make good money, you got a good pension. Yes, you have a dog. But to have the province of New Brunswick to have the worst legislation. There's no legislation for service dog in New Brunswick. And to have snobs to go somewhere and they see a less fortunate with a dog and say, that's not a service dog. You don't believe me? You go to YouTube, right? Canada Day, Fredericton, Charles LeBlanc. Canada Day, Fredericton. And you'll see two security guys arriving there. Canada Day, the first Canada Day we had in 2 years, arriving there and said, they saw a couple with 2 kids with a puppy. Hey, no dogs allowed here. They cleared all the dogs out. There was almost a rampage. And people were saying, what's going on here? It's because a snob said, I paid $500 to have a service dog. And that person, not a service dog, shouldn't be allowed in the area. Well, I'm going to tell you, This has nothing. What are you yawning about? He always yawn when I do these rants. That's why when he sees me near the legislator, he pulls me away. He says all I do is talk, talk, talk. He wants to walk, walk, walk. But we're going to confront the government, and we are going to confront the MLAs, and we're going to ask them, what do they think about this issue? Like Lisa Harrity laugh at people with mental illness and just say, well, go to the New Brunswick Human Rights Commission. And the New Brunswick Human Rights Commission is only there to protect the government. That's all. Okay, stay tuned. Ugh. Oh yeah, lick your balls now. Jesus.